Brother Bill, thank you for coming out to Mafia Family Ties.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. This has been a long time coming. When we started doing this show, you were one of the first people I thought of. And so I'm glad that we were able to put it together finally. I know you made a trip out from the greater Rochester area, so thanks for doing that.
Of course. Yeah, I'm excited to be here. I know we've been talking about it for a few months and everything.
Yeah. So, all right, good stuff. So let's just jump right into it. So I have a little bit of a gauntlet, these questions that I ask everybody just to kind of start the conversation and everything. So earliest Bills memory. You've been a fan for a minute. So what's the earliest one you have?
Honestly, I don't totally remember the play, but I would say my earliest Bills memory is the Music City Miracle.
Because that's terrible.
Yeah, right. I think I was about 5, but I remember my dad's reaction and just not really totally getting it, but knowing I was supposed to be mad too. And I feel like that's a core memory that stuck with me was how much he was losing it. And that I just remember that moment and probably mimicking kind of what he was doing, but not really getting why.
So you've had your opportunities now as an adult to have your own Music City Miracle 13-second moments and everything 100%. For sure. So it all comes around.
Yeah.
Favorite Bills player not named Josh Allen? And feel free to go as obscure as you want.
Current or ever?
Both.
Okay. Current would have to be... Actually, let me start with ever because I've got to think about current. I'm probably at a Roscoe Parrish.
Roscoe Parrish?
I was a huge Roscoe Parrish jersey. I had his jersey, and it was right after the Drew Bledsoe era. Mm-hmm. So I'd go to school with it, and everyone would be like, why you got a Drew Bledsoe jersey on? I'd just turn around and be like, it's Parrish. Current would probably be...
Well, let's stop right there for a second.
Yeah.
What did you love about Parrish? What was your favorite?
I was young, so just being fast on Madden was always a huge thing for me. If he was, I think he was a 96, 97 speed, the punt returning, it was elite. I loved going. I was at a game, I still remember it. I had to be 12 maybe. It was a Jags-Bills game, and we were losing, I believe, and it was a minute left. They punted to us, and he had a sick punt return. I don't know if he actually scored on it, but I think he did. Mm. But he was running down the sideline, and I remember he was stumbling over his own feet, and whoever was the blocker behind him literally picked him up by his jersey and got him upright on his feet again. And I think he did score. I can't remember exactly. I was young, right? Do you remember that? Okay, that was sick. I remember being at the game. And then I think Ryan Lindell had a game-winning field goal.
Ryan Lindell, I thought he was gonna be the kicker forever.
He was so perfect from 40 in, but once you got past 45, I feel it was pretty iffy.
A little dicey.
Yeah.
Different era back then too, though. I mean, now you have guys hitting 55, 60 yarders every week.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah.
Current favorite player.
Real quick, in that game, too, so the punt return, they forced a 3-and-out, got the ball back, and then Losman threw a 25-yard completion to Parrish on the sideline.
I feel I remember this. I remember this. That was a sick game. It would have been Jordon Phillips. I still feel he's going to come back in some capacity.
I think he said he only wants to play if he's with the Bills.
He's the best. He loves it here.
Yeah, you guys developed a special relationship
last year. We
really
did. And that was just so cool because I've been a Jordon Phillips guy for since he got here, really. I remember one of my best friends, unfortunately, is a Dolphins fan. And I texted him, this was 2017 or 16, when we claimed him off waivers. And I was like, how's this guy? Because I follow the Bills really heavily, but I see the Dolphins twice a year. I don't follow their team. And he was honestly, dude, he's really good. They don't use him a ton, and I never get why, but I feel he's going to end up being your favorite player. And we talk about that now because it's so funny because we're we text sometimes. He was talking to me all the time. So it's just funny how cool that was. But now I still think he's going to come back. So I don't know if that counts as a current favorite player.
Right. Okay. We're not officially into next season, so we can consider that carryover. Right. That's not a problem. Not a problem. I remember when Phillips joined, they picked him up off of waivers or something like that, and he was just in from the jump.
Yeah.
And he was getting a lot of negative tweets from Dolphins fans. He's you guys can, I remember him tweeting back, you can say whatever you want, but I remember him saying twice, he goes, I'm happy. He said it twice. I was it says a lot about the culture that
I remember. I think it was the Bengals home opener. It might have been his second year with us or third year with us, 18, 19. I think it was 18 going into 19, right? And I just remember we were up. We started to lose the lead a little bit. And it was like one of those classic Bills moments where it's like, we're dominating and now the Bengals are coming back. I think Josh just threw an interception and like the whole place like deflated. And I remember like sitting down, like hands over my eyes, almost like just like couldn't believe what was happening. But like you can, because at that point we were so used
the
to it.
Billsiness of it all. Right.
And he came like sprinting out from the sideline and was just like going like bananas, like pumping up everybody and literally like forced, like I remember like feeling like I got hit with like the Holy Ghost almost, like just like I didn't want to stand up, but I had no choice because Jordon Phillips was so aggressively pumping up the crowd. And from that moment, I was like, this dude is the man. Yeah. And it kind of reminded me of Takeo Spikes when I was a kid. Yeah, I remember him coming out of the tunnel and like just going nuts and like the energy that like they brought to the fans in the stadium. And ever since that, it was like my favorite guy. Like he's just electric.
I love it. So a little bit of a pivot before we get to the next question, but like I wanted to ask, so you're pretty recognizable now. Like you're all over social media and stuff. And I know your name's not really Bill. And we don't have to get into the, your real name, but do you ever wish sometimes like you had a little bit of that anonymity back, or do you wish people knew you for maybe the real person you are or anything like that?
Sometimes.
Like, what's that dynamic like? Let's just
Yeah. I mean, I'm a very like even keel low key guy. So like the persona of Brother Bill is like very different from like kind of who I am normally. But it's almost like that like inner thing that like lives within me. Like I'm just a diehard Bills fan. So it's kind of like my way of just like getting it out and then going back to like my normalcy for the rest of the week. So I don't mind it. I kind of like it. The nice thing is the mustache and the corduroy hat have really become like the calling card. And it's almost like I love seeing people at games, especially like I try to go up to anyone who like calls me out or whatever. Mm-hmm. But after a loss, I'll kind of just take my hat off. And it's almost like those movies where like they put the glasses with the mustache on.
Yeah, or Clark Kent putting his glasses on.
I'll just take the hat off and just walk through the stadium. And like nobody notices me. But as soon as I put it on, I've kind of done it. It's pretty crazy. Yeah. It's like so funny that like this is like the one thing that like people just point to.
Do you have a whole cache of like corduroy hats at home just in case?
I have a backup one.
Yeah.
I think it was Queen City Vintage posted just a picture of like 8 random hats they got last year. And it was the first time I ever saw this hat anywhere else. Yeah. And I was like, I mean, it's old. Like, who knows what could happen to it? So I was like,
you gotta be careful. I mean, that's your brand, right?
Dude, I immediately bought it. Like, I was like, I need to get that just put it on ice in case something happens.
Just in case. I love it. So where'd you get that hat from?
This is my dad's hat from,
I love that.
from like the 90s. Like, I used to always take it from him. And then I kind of just never gave it back one day.
I love it. Who knew that when he bought that hat at Laux or wherever, you know, back in the 90s, that the hat was going to have this iconic piece of Bills fandom. I love it. It's awesome. All right. So we talked a little bit about like favorite, former players, semi-current players, keeping in touch with that. Like every Bills fan has like hot takes, right? Or stuff that they're either not ashamed or ashamed to admit that they once thought. Like a lot of us thought maybe we were going to smoothly transition from Kelly into Todd Collins, or that Aaron Maben was going to like reinvent Dick Geron's defense back in 2009. What would you say your craziest take has been over the years that like still you can get back in that headspace and still kind of justify it to yourself, but like saying it out loud, you're like, I can understand why people would think that's weird.
Probably EJ Manuel. And I'm not even saying like, oh, we drafted him and I was like, this is my guy. Cause I feel like as Bills fans, we'll do that for anyone. But I'm saying like all through the draft, like as soon as the season over and I'm like looking up like, okay, who do I want? It was like EJ Manuel, like strong arm, big, perfect for like the cold weather I felt. Mm-hmm. I was telling my dad like every night, like this is the guy. Like if we don't draft this
Bowl
guy,
MVP,
like everything. I was like, this is the guy. And we drafted him, and I was like, I told you. Like I was like freaking out. And
remember this when he's in the Hall of Fame.
I was at the Panthers game when he led the comeback. Like that was like I don't even have that Twitter account anymore because it was a long time ago. But I remember just tweeting like, EJ Manuel is the savior. EJ Manuel, like nonstop. Like that was like one of the most electric games I've been to.
Is that you said Patriots? Did you mean the Panthers one where he threw it to Stevie?
Yeah, when he threw it to Stevie. Yeah,
I remember like flying like a jet plane like through the concourse.
Was like
it was
the
crazy.
Most excited I've been. And I was like, we found our guy, like 100%.
Oh yeah. Never mind the fact that he admitted afterwards, like, I just threw it and didn't look.
You could even see Stevie's knees buckle almost a little bit. Like it was like so like slow and like it was like a movie. But like you said, like you can almost still talk yourself into it. And I'm like, man, if Doug Marrone, you know, he seemed like he never really wanted EJ. So I feel like I put that on. Who knows? Maybe EJ couldn't have never been that guy, but maybe in another world.
I can't remember if it was EJ or if it was Sammy Watkins the next year. I think it was Sammy.
Sammy came after EJ,
right.
Yeah.
But the story is that after that player was drafted, Marrone stood up and walked out of the draft room.
I think, I don't know if that was EJ or Sammy actually, because they traded up for Sammy pretty high.
Pretty high.
And Mac was right there.
Yeah. And Mac, there was a story that the next year or so, like, Mac and Sammy were in the same place, and he said, "You stole my team from me."
Yeah,
I was like,
that hurts.
That hurts.
That hurts a lot.
So, all right, going back a second, these questions, I'm a little over the place, but all over the place. But you mentioned like walking around with a hat and taking it off and everything. Do you ever wish sometimes like you could just go back to being like? Because I have to imagine, like, especially when you're wearing the hat, but in general, there's probably some Bills fans that are in tune that recognize you even without the hat. Do you ever wish sometimes you could just go back to being like just not Brother Bill and just being Joe Bills fan? His name's not really Joe. That's not. You know. People are gonna be like, his name's not Bill. I just totally exposed something this one, but
I would say that aspect of it, I don't mind at all. Like if people want to talk to me about the Bills or come up to me anywhere, like I'm pretty game. I would say it's just like the sometimes just like the pressure of coming up with a new idea and like. They've almost become like mini movies now, these videos. So like I put a lot of pressure on myself to like keep upping it and at least like impressing people or surprising people. And I mean, I think I've done every team at least twice now. I've done Patriots and Dolphins and Jets like 15 times, I don't know, 16 times.
How many times can you
so
punt?
So it gets really hard. And that's when I get like really stressed is like, there's some weeks where I'm like at Wednesday and I'm like, I have like nothing. And then somehow something pops in my head and like it works. But that's definitely probably the part where like I'm most like, man, I wish I didn't have to do this right now. And now a lot of my ideas involve like my friends who I'm just like, hey, put on this.
They gotta love that though. They gotta love that.
Right? I'm sure they do, but I'm sure at some point we're out in the freezing cold and he's in a crab costume and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna dump this chili on you or something stupid. And they're like, all right, but like, I'm sure that bothers them a little bit.
Yeah, enjoy your likes.
Yeah,
thanks, dude.
Yeah, right. Because they don't get the love I do. I always try to like give them like we'll go out to dinner or like I don't know, buy them something like a jersey or something. I try to do at the end of the year to like somewhat make up for the antics I've made them go through.
Yeah, that's a good friend. Good. It's a give and take, right?
Yes.
It's like every relationship. So, all right. So we're talking about like the I kind of led that off with like a not a negative, but like a positive. Because I can say it is cool like being somewhere and just having somebody shout your name or something like that.
Right.
And, you know, what's that like? How do you enjoy that? You have a really engaged audience too. With your videos and everything. And it's not just at Bills games, I imagine. Like people are probably approaching you all kinds of different functions.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's funny. Like my name's not Brother Bill. So when it's funny how I react to Bill now. Like it's like one of my normal names. I feel like there's like 50% of the people are going to call me Bill that I run into. So that's funny, but it is really cool. Like it's definitely like a niche enough fan base too, where it's like I can go to, I don't know, some place for dinner and I'm most likely not going to get recognized by if I go to a sports bar or like an Amerks game or definitely a Bills game, but like sports related things or like a brewery, I'm most likely going to get like
that's going to change, just
out.
so you know, like as time goes on, that's going to change. You're going to end up at the grocery store and someone's going to approach you.
I've had it a little bit at the grocery store too. You're right. But it's not like too bad. I enjoy it. It's funny.
No, it's been fun. It's been fun to watch your account and your engagement grow over the past, several years. I think you do a great job.
We ran into each other at the Bills store the Chiefs playoff game.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
We were just both looking and we kind of like looked over.
That would have been a great moment captured on camera or something, right? But that's awesome. All right, so going back to your videos, you've had some really cool opportunities. You've worked with the Ghost of Eric Wood, some other ones. I think you did one with Jordon Phillips, I think, didn't you?
I made a song called "I Feel Like Big Phil," and he like loved it. He put it up on his page too and everything. He wasn't in it or anything, but he shouted me out in a few interviews and stuff.
Yeah.
But the song was
Josh Allen has shouted you out.
Josh Allen shouted me out.
Yeah.
That was really cool. I was cutting my dad's hair. I'm a barber. And I was just I was at their house in their basement cutting his hair, and like hadn't checked my phone for like an hour, kind of went upstairs, like ate something. And I'm just sitting on the couch with my mom and checked my phone, and I had like tons of notifications. Of like, oh my God, like Josh Allen knows Brother Bill. I'm like, what? And finally someone I knew was like, I can't believe Josh Allen's a fan of Brother Bill. And I tweeted back and I was like, what are you talking? Like, what's going on? And she was like, oh, he just shouted you out on the Kyle Brandt podcast. And then someone like clipped it and sent it to me. And I was like, oh my God, that's crazy.
That's amazing.
So I would have never thought, honestly, at that point, I would have never thought, but that was sick. Eric Wood is hilarious. Like the funniest part about those is like, I really don't give him any context to like, I send him like a script. I'm like, hey, say these lines. And I can only imagine
he
like
puts
what
a
he's
lot of trust in you in that case.
Yeah, and then he'll just shoot a video and I'll like superimpose him wherever I am. And it's funny because like the first one I was like, yeah, look to like your left, look to your right, and then say like, you know, I'm not dead. I'm just retired, right? And I can only imagine like it's probably like, what is this guy having me do? But then when it comes out, he'll always text me. He's like, dude, this is amazing.
That's
like
awesome.
He's a huge supporter. He's the man.
Now, if this was 10 or 12 years ago, somebody would have created an account, The Ghost of Eric Wood or something like that, because that was like the thing, you know, back in the day. All right, so you've had a lot of great ideas. What are some of the ideas you've had that haven't quite made it?
Every year I tell myself I'm going to like go I have to probably go to Miami to do it, but I want to ride a dolphin for one of the videos. And I just have never, I think they're pretty strict about like bringing your own phone too. Like they like take it on their own stuff. But that is always something that like cracks me up that like if I can get on a dolphin.
Do they do that? Do they do?
You can ride a dolphin.
Do they?
Like
I know you can swim with the dolphins.
Maybe don't ride them then. Maybe I would.
I'm just thinking like a
I
cowboy
get kicked
or something.
out last second for riding it, but it'd be worth it.
Get the content. Get the content and then worry about the repercussions after.
Yeah, sneak a beer in. And then my cousin actually lives in Morristown, which is where the Jets like practice facility is. So I had the one video, I think it was 2 years ago, where I like was like fake breaking in, like as Eric on, like kind of like Eric Andre style, like doing the let me in on the gates. And I was thinking about like sneaking into the actual facility, and security did show up and they did escort me off the premises. So that did not work. I didn't get the shots I really wanted to. Funny thing, and not like humble brag, I guess, but the NFL Films was there because they were filming Hard Knocks, and the whole camera crew was like there as I was like hanging around the gates, and they were all like 10 dudes were like, dude, we love your videos. Like they're so
awesome.
funny. And I was like, I didn't believe that they actually knew who I was because like they're not Bills people at all. So that was pretty cool and like surprising.
Yeah.
But I did get escorted off the premises.
You might be on some cutting room floor Hard Knocks footage you don't know about.
Yeah, right.
That's fantastic.
Just me hanging onto the gate.
Watch what's happening. The Bills are going to do the Hard Knocks some year, and then they're going to cut back to old footage of a Bills fan at the Jets facility. Funny. That's funny. All right, so switching gears a little bit. Josh Allen has done a pretty good job of turning Haley Steinfeld into a Bills fan.
Oh, yeah.
Like, she's in it, too. Like, I don't know if you've seen some of the stuff she's done with Michael B. Jordan. Like, she can find nice things to say about Chiefs fans.
I saw that.
Yeah.
That's
so,
cool.
I guess getting engaged will do that. But, so if you could take any celebrity out there and convert them into a Bills fan, they should be already. I mean, if they're paying attention to football. But, like, if you could convert any celebrity into a Bills fan, who's on your short list?
Oh, this one's tough for me. Let me ask you, can you say who you would like to switch?
I would probably I'd probably rescue Chris Evans from Patriots fandom.
Is he a Patriots fan?
I do believe so.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's a New Englander as I understand it. So any of the Avengers. Well, I have an Avenger now with Haley Steinfeld, right?
Very
so
true.
I didn't even think about that.
Anthony Mackie was at a game last year.
He was, but I've seen him tweet about other team, like another team in the past. I can't remember what team it was.
He's just a fan of the game.
Fan of the game, yeah. I'd probably recruit as many Avengers as I could because I'm a nerd.
Pretty cool. That'd be a cool entrance if they did the whole like on the field.
That would be fantastic. They need to get on that now. Now they have it in. So who knows?
Right. I would say I'm a huge basketball guy too. I think my all-time favorite basketball player is Carmelo Anthony. So maybe that would be kind of cool. And like T-Mac and Vince are part owners, which is really cool to me now. So maybe Carmelo. I might have a weird answer, but I'm a fan of the Rizzler, and I think he's a Jets fan. I'd like to take the Rizzler from them. They could keep a Big AJ, but and Big Justice, but I'm definitely a Rizzler.
These are
guy.
wrestling references.
These are.
I have no idea who Rizzler is.
So he's like a little. That's crazy.
Yeah,
The Boom guys. You seen the Boom guys?
oh my gosh, no.
Bring the Boom. It's like not good stuff to watch. It's like brain rot.
Well,
But it is. I for some reason I am a fan of the Rizzler. He's hilarious. He's
right.
just like a little short, like chubby kid who just does like goofy stuff.
all right. See, now I've been exposed. Can you believe Dal doesn't know who the Rizzler? I have no idea what that is.
You're gonna probably hate me when you go to look it up and be like, "This is what he's talking about."
He wants this guy to be a Bills fan. That's funny. All right. So if you're general manager Brandon Beane, what 3 moves are you making going into the 2025 season? I just totally pivoted off Rizzler. We're going back to the Bills now.
If I'm Brandon Beane, I think I'm trying to package some stuff and trading for like a legit defensive player, whether it be like a D tackle, a D end. Like I think I'd be willing to give up the 1st round pick and like we have a couple seconds. So to make some sort of move like that, I don't really know who's available now. Like I had my heart set on Myles Garrett. Obviously that did not work out.
Yeah. I was with you on that one.
Even Khalil Mack, I really thought he was going to hit free agency and like we'd have a chance to change that, like reverse history. This is tough though. I'm trying to think who's out there now because it's like
so content wise too. It was like you play your video at the game like 5 minutes before. Like you could do other.
So it's not just
doesn't
like
have to be just the roster.
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
I have like free will of everything.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're in charge of the Bills.
Okay.
Roster, game day experience, everything surrounding the team.
Okay, this is different now. Okay, what would I do if I was in charge of the Bills?
Buffalo on the field.
Buffalo. Oh, a real buffalo. Oh, definitely. The buffalo statues.
Thank you.
Those are going to be at least 100 feet tall a piece.
Thank you. Yes.
They're going to be bigger than the stadium, maybe taller than the stadium.
What a tease that was, seeing those early concepts. And like, no one even cared what the
Huge.
stadium looked like. They're like, giant buffaloes. I want the giant buffaloes.
That's what I wanted.
Now we're going to get like probably some,
Maybe we'll get like you could put a coin in and they'll like go back and forth a little bit.
that'll be great.
That'd
It'll
be
work for the
pretty
first
cool.
year and then it'll be busted.
What else? I just had another good idea. Oh, you know what I've noticed? I don't know if it's just me. I feel like the train horn has decreased volume in the past like 6 years for some reason. Like I feel like it used to be really loud, and now there's times where I don't hear it. Maybe it's just because we're good and we're like way more
We're
loud.
already yelling, right?
Yes.
Maybe, yeah.
So if that is a issue, if I do I'll have my guys on the research and we'll figure it out. And if it is, we'll notch that a few octaves higher, and then I'm bringing the bleachers to the new stadium, 100%.
Really?
Oh yeah, I'm a huge bleacher guy.
I sit on bleachers with my seasons. I would not mind trading them out for seats.
Just to smack them, like to lose.
Fair enough.
To lose the smacking bleachers is like, it's been my whole life I've been smacking bleachers, and now this is my last year I'm going to be able to smack a bleacher. It's pretty upsetting.
You should put that in your your profile. Like my whole life I've been smacking bleachers. That's funny. Yeah. So, the thing with bleachers though is that like you're always never in your
I've had some
spot.
bad experiences.
Like this is my seat over here, and
I've had
like
some
over
experiences where I'm the last one in the row and I'm literally like sitting like sideways like this.
yeah.
But I don't know. I love it.
Hey,
and then you
pros
have a
and
friend,
cons.
I have a friend every now and then who, bought the cheapest seat in the building. We kind of just get a little tight and we sneak them right in with us. So there's always a pro there.
I've had a couple of those friends
Yes,
too.
we gotta do it.
We all have. That's fun. I think there's like 3 people in my row that bring that friend every week, but it's all good. It's all good. Okay, so game day. I mean, we see your prep. We know you're doing that all week with your Keurig and your Labatt Blue Light and everything. What are some traditions on game day that you have to do, like in real life?
Yeah.
And what are some of your favorite parts of game day? Just walk me through your game day and what you what you love most about it?
A lot of my game day, honestly, is like pre-game day is tiring out my dog so that like he is shot for the entirety of the game. And I've got it down to like an art. So like gets like he's a husky, so he's got a lot of energy. So we'll walk him for like an hour and a half in the morning, wake up, walk him. And then I'll do like another like 45 minutes right before, like if it's a 1 o'clock game, right before kickoff, get home at like 12:45. I always have a Bills dog treat for him. And like, that's like a good luck, like thing in my head that he's got to eat that. And then usually he's knocked for the entire game. Sometimes we go to overtime and he's starting to like get a little restless, but that's like my whole like morning game day is just making sure he leaves me alone for like 4.5 hours.
That's good management though. That's good management though. Like that's, you're a good like fur dad. Because like, you're not just like, be quiet and put him in that room. Like you're making sure that he's having a good time.
Yeah.
And then doesn't have energy to spend.
And then I always drink Good Luck Pepsi. Obviously, that's a huge part of my game day. So that comes. Sometimes if it's a big game, honestly, I got like 2, 3 in the fridge, and it's just like we're just flowing. Try to drink it continuously throughout the game.
Is that mixed in with the blue light, or
sometimes I do like a Irish car bomb type version of this, where it's like coffee, beer, Pepsi.
That sounds awful.
We had a Christmas where I was starting to do a little eggnog with the Pepsi. That was actually pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
All right. Yeah, I'm an eggnog guy, but you can doctor it up.
It's almost like a vanilla Pepsi.
Yeah.
Like you put a little eggnog in there.
Yeah, I like that. Eggnog's good. You can feel the calories when you're drinking an eggnog. All right. So just getting into a little bit of off, the Bills specifically. Favorite sports movie or movies? Like
favorite sports movie is Miracle. Like hands down. That's like one of the best movies. I feel like they crush it. I when I was young, I really liked like every sports movie. Now the older I get and I go back and watch some of them, you're like, it's a little cheesy. Like dudes don't really look like they know how to play the game. But Miracle was like hockey dudes who didn't know how to act. So it's almost the opposite. Like they're not great actors, but there's not a ton for them to be doing. Kurt Russell's really handling the acting, and they're just like really good at hockey, and they know how like hockey players talk. So like it just feels so real.
Yeah,
I love that movie. Great movie.
What's an example of the movie that didn't hold up when you went back to it?
Oh man, Coach Carter. I used to love that movie. I find it like really corny now. Like, I'll watch some of those lines and like the dialogue is just so cringy.
A little stilted.
Every now and then you have one of those movies too where it's like dudes dribbling the ball, but like they don't have, you know what I mean? It's just like upper body like this, and then it's like the ball's like doing all types of crazy things. Hate those scenes.
Yep. Yeah, that's the worst when you see the quarterback go back.
Yeah, and
it goes like
that. That is worse. Also, if I have another one, White Men Can't Jump. Great movie. That's probably my second.
I thought you were saying it wasn't.
No.
I was like, dude, that's like a classic.
Jack Harlow's version. Like, never watch it if you haven't.
I've never. Yeah,
my fiance's big Jack Harlow, or was. I don't know if she is. I feel like it's slowed down. At one point, she's a huge Jack Harlow fan. She made me watch it, and I was like mad. Like it was terrible. They butchered it. And then I made her watch the original. She had never seen it. And even as like a Jack Harlow stan, she was like, wow, this is like leaps and bounds better. Like that was pretty terrible.
That seems to be a thing that Hollywood is doing is like, there's no new ideas.
No new ideas.
And they're not even pretending. They're just like, we're just making this exact movie over again.
Besides Sinners, Haley Steinfeld. Go support Buffalo Zone.
Yeah, Buffalo Zone. Buffalo Zone, yeah.
Josh, if you're watching, we got you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so if they're to make a movie about the current Bills roster and just all the characters around, the Bills.
Okay.
Who's playing Brother Bill?
Ooh. Timothy Chalamet.
I'll tell you what, my daughter's in line. She's got tickets if that's the case.
He's a huge Knicks guy. I was a little iffy on him. Some of his roles I really like. I feel like he's in a lot. But I've come around. He actually knows his Knicks stuff. Like he's pretty impressive. So I'm a big Timothy Chalamet guy now.
What's your favorite Timothy Chalamet movie?
Man, let me think.
Because he's a pretty good actor. He's got a diverse collection.
I'm like drawing a blank on like everything besides one that I don't like, which was that Wes Anderson movie that came out a few years ago. I can't remember what it was called.
Oh, I think I missed that one.
It wasn't that.
I like Wes Anderson typically too.
They were like, we're going to go off on a tangent now, but it was like 3 stories, I think, or 4 stories like in one movie because it was about a newspaper.
Yes.
And like each story, I feel like got worse. Like the first one was really, it was like Adrian Brody and like the stuff, it was really good. And then like each one got worse to me. Timothy Chalamet movies. Why am I, let me pull up his filmography real fast.
Wonka, Dune.
Isn't he Willy Wonka?
I don't watch Willy Wonka. I didn't watch Dune either. I'm not a huge action guy.
Dune
I'm more
great.
drama.
Dune is like,
What about the Dylan pick?
Which one is that?
The one you just did.
Complete Unknown.
Oh, Bob Dylan. That was good.
That was amazing.
There's one I'm like, I gotta
that
look
was
him
great.
up. He's funny on SNL. I'll say that too.
Oh, but the Yeats.
He crushes
What about
it.
Yeah.
the Blue de Chanel commercials?
Crushes those.
Don't Look Up on Netflix, the one with Leo. And
Yeah, he's not. I actually like him in that a lot, but he's not in it a ton. Yeah, it was a good role.
He was in that movie?
He's like the like random like
Interstellar.
dude by the side. Yeah, that's right. He's a little kid in that.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Crazy that he's in Interstellar.
That's like one of like my favorite movies. I never noticed that he was in it. So shows
Okay.
how much attention I pay.
Maybe it is French Dispatch was the movie I was thinking of. Maybe it is Don't Look Up.
That's your favorite one is Don't Look Up?
He's not in it a lot, but
Yeah.
I do like his role in it a lot.
That's fair.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah,
that's fair.
because he's just
Hey,
kind of like, it's kind of like Jay and Silent Bob vibes. Like he's just like a skateboarder type dude who's on like the side of like a gas station, I think, when they meet him, and he just kind of like hangs around.
Jay and Silent Bob.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
That makes sense now. When that movie came out on Netflix, my daughter was saying, I want to see that movie. I'm like, yeah, it looks good. She's probably want to see Timothy Chalamet. That's probably what it was. All right. And then obviously we love Western New York. If you had to, but you've probably traveled around a little bit at this point in your life.
Yeah.
If you had to live anywhere outside of New York State for 5 years, where are you choosing?
Ooh. Outside of so my sister lives in Dallas, which is a nice city. I don't think I want to live there.
Is it
Man,
because of the
this-
Cowboys?
Yeah, kind of, honestly. I'm thinking sports wise, I don't want to watch them. I might go with, I haven't traveled a lot. I'm really not a big traveler. I have gone to Western Canada and I had a really good time.
What brought you out to Western Canada?
Are you familiar with Pepsi Dad?
Pepsi Dan. I am.
It's a Twitter page I like actively retweet like constantly. It's just
I'm sure I've seen it.
pretty funny. It's just a guy who loves Pepsi is like the gist of it, but he doesn't really know how Twitter works. So like spells things wrong, hashtags always in the wrong spot. But the gist is he just loves Pepsi.
Yeah.
So Pepsi Dad is a friend of mine. He's also got this is alias. But he played hockey at RT, which my best friend did too. So I have a ton of Canadian friends from that.
Yeah.
And I went up one summer to visit him and we went to like Edmonton. We went
That's
amazing.
amazing.
It is funny. We went to a Eskimos game, the Elks now.
Right, yes.
But they were that back then. They played the Argonauts. Ludacris performed at halftime. We stormed the field. We like somehow got like field passes that like we didn't own, and we like got in the field and we were just like front row to like a Ludacris concert at like halftime of a CFL game
In Western Canada.
Yeah, so that was really weird.
Wow.
And then we went to Calgary, and there's this thing called Stampede, which is like a cowboy rodeo festival.
Yeah, I know the rodeo is really big
Yeah.
in
So like
Calgary.
the daytime is all rodeo, nighttime's like rave party, and really I had
That's
a little
very
bit,
oil and water to me.
Yes, I had a lot of. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. There's like DJs playing, but I got a little intoxicated that night, and I don't remember a lot. But I remember something was so strange that like it snapped me out of like my drunken stupor, and like I was just like couldn't believe what I was watching, and it was like I don't know what the correct term is, like a small person dressed as
Like a little person.
a little person dressed as Michael Jackson and a little person dressed as Elvis, and they were like dual like performing against each other on stage. And I don't remember.
You're sure this happened?
I'm positive because I was like, it
the lead up to
sobered
that.
me. And like immediately I was sober. I was like, whoa, like what is happening right now? And then I went back to whatever I was doing, but I do remember that. But I guess I would have to say I had a really good time there. Maybe I'll go Western Canada.
Western Canada. All right. All right. Buffalo. We're on the Canadian border. That's not outlandish.
There's a decent amount of Bills fans out there, surprisingly. I ran into a dude at the Bills store before a game, and one of my buddies' names is Matt Apt, and I'm walking through like the store, and this guy's, and I don't expect anyone in Buffalo to know Matt Apt, like he lives in Edmonton, Alberta. And the guy just goes like, Matt Apt says hello. And I was like, what? Like I had to like double take. And he just works in like he works out with him in Western Canada, but they're huge Bills fans, and him and his son come to a couple games every year.
That's wild.
I've actually ran into them like 3 times. Like he'll just say it.
He's
like I'll be walking through
what it is.
I'll walk through
He's
the
playing it
concourse,
cool, but like,
and they'll say the same thing. And I'm like, dude, it's you again. Like
that's wild. Well, this is a lot of fun. I appreciate you coming out here, taking the time to have the conversation with me. Of course. And looking forward to next season.
That's true. Yes. Yes, sir.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.